Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. I win it. I win.
Oh, you mean tan-wise? Seeing your wife for days until she fades.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We are starting off this evening with a public hearing. So I need a motion to open the public hearing. Should I open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Basically, this public hearing is to change the speed limit on Lilac Road to 25 miles per hour. The reasoning behind that is that we had a request from our school superintendent to have a school zone on Lilac, Onek. There is an existing one on Mill. Onek is under the jurisdiction of Southampton Town, and they have a school zone on it. It just wasn't properly posted. So signage has gone up since her request. And in speaking to our highway engineer, we do not qualify for a school zone on Lilac due to the fact that we don't have a crosswalk on the northern portion, and there are certain distances involved for a school zone and so forth. So there's no way we can qualify with the state for a school zone. But we can come close, school zone being 20 miles an hour, we can come close with a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And we thought that would be appropriate. We had a discussion about this in the work session and so on and so forth. So this is an opportunity for the public to have any comments on that proposed speed limit change. It's just around the school entrances and where the students are walking with a slower speed limit. So does anyone have any comments or questions?
Only comments I have on, like I said, I'm for it, but I don't think that it's, you still should have some type of yield sign or crosswalk signs, but a crosswalk, I noticed when I drive down Mill Road, that nobody seems to stop. They pull up to the corner there and they're trying to make the right and making it, they go beyond the curve, so there should be something during this, like, school time.
Crosswalk.
Yeah, the crosswalks on these streets here, even though you say 25 miles an hour, but kids are walking on those
Are
things.
you talking about the intersection
Yeah,
of Mill
intersection.
Road and Lilac?
Yep.
Okay, okay.
The people don't stop and they pull, everybody whips around and pulls way out and you can't see and the kids are trying to get across there. So I do notice that,
Yeah.
that's something we should add. We change, you want to change
We
it
could-
to miles per hour, I put something there where the school puts something out in the morning or school hours, whatever, and then.
Yeah,
Take
we have jurisdiction over Lilac, but we do not have,
I got it.
we looked into the Mill Road, and that's a county road, so
Yeah, we can't, but,
we'd have to have the county.
but the
do it.
crosswalk there.
It's
Yeah.
the crosswalk.
A lot of people-
Matt, you might
Yeah.
know the answer. Is the crosswalk there on east-west on Lilac, meaning on
Yes,
our
on
street?
Lilac, there's a crosswalk.
Yes.
Correct.
Crosswalk.
Okay,
So are there, do you know what the rules are? You know those things in the middle on the double yellow, or Lilac doesn't
doesn't have a yellow,
Doesn't have it,
doesn't have a center line.
Well, if there wasn't, like in the center. you know, the
Pedestrian sign.
Pedestrian sign?
Yeah,
Are
those
we
can be.
allowed to just put them out? Do we have to go through any kind of?
Not for the temporary ones, the ones that are foldable.
Right.
Like they have the heavy rubber base.
Yep, heavy rubber base.
Like the one we
We
have
do have
in the
them.
library and things.
Exactly,
we
yeah.
can- Yeah.
Yeah,
could
we do
easily
have them, we do use them, they get hit quite a bit though.
I know they get.
So it's usually the landscaping trailers that clip them at the end. Yeah,
That's a very wide.
But a lot of people I noticed, and a lot of it is the kids, the high school kids, the older ones that drive, they don't pay attention to any of that
Right.
stuff. They go whip right around the corner.
And you also have to get yourself down into Mill a little bit to see left and right, so they go past the crosswalk
I know,
first.
way past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder if we could put one of those
We can,
collapsible
yeah, I
signs.
think we can experiment with that. That would be fine.
Something temporary to see if it
Yeah.
does something. If it doesn't do anything, then it's.
We need to catch people's attention. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think it really put, like crosswalk being flat, you know, you should see the light, but something sticking out, I think might draw attention.
Well, they have them in, oh, it's just in Florida, they have them down Boston, over down Singer Island, but those on the corners that go, and they seem to catch your attention as you're coming down the road, you notice the crosswalk coming up. You know, if it's a little dark out, you can't see it, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Can't hurt, I
People
don't,
visibility.
but as for the 20 mile an hour, I'm really in favor of the slower the better.
Okay. Anyone else have a comment? Okay, so we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Shouldn't close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and then we have solutions for the evening. So, Mr. Teeman, if you would,
Resolved that the minutes of the Board of Trustees meetings of January 15th, 2025 are hereby accepted.
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
resolve that the police department's building inspectors and treasurer's January 2025 reports are hereby accepted.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the warrants for January 2025 in the amount of $388,990.61 for the general fund, $2,810.62 for the capital fund are hereby approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the purchase of a 24 new Highlander coal planer from Malvisi Equipment in the amount of $26,611.10 to be paid from the GL account number Apple 5110.2 equipment.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the renewal of 36-month traffic suite app from All Traffic Solutions for the DPW display sign at a cost of $3,825 to be paid out of GL account A5110.402, equipment repairs and service.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
resolve that the Board of Trustees authorizes the upgrade of the village email system to Microsoft 365 at a fee of $8,010 to be paid out of GLA 1680.4 contractual expenses.
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
resolved that the Board of Trustees approves the installation of an external network for the DPW barn and for the department heads and appointed officials to have outside access at cost not to exceed $3,410 to be paid out of A 1650.2 equipment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approve the hiring of Susan Doyle, subcontractor, to temporarily fill in as needed at the Village Justice Court at an hourly salary of $21.25 per hour.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the renewal of cybersecurity insurance with coverage of liability up to $3 million at a cost of $14,954.69 to be paid out of a 1910 insurance.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 Resolve that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the purchase and installation of 3 awnings over doorways at Village Hall from Amble Awning Co. at a cost of $12,126 to be paid out of, should I say account?
Out of,
Did you say account or GL? GL. GL account A 1620.2 building equipment.
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hold on. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the following 2024-2025 budget amendments. New York State Law Enforcement Technology Grant, increase revenue code A4289.2, $132,672, increase expense code account 3120.2, $132,672. New York State Enforcement Technology Grant, increase revenue code A4289.2 for $8,700, increase expense code A3120.2, $8,700. Child Passenger Safety Grant, increase revenue code A3089.4 for for $2,713.11. Increase expense code A3120.103.2 for $2713.11.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I would like to thank our police chief for all the above, because if you notice, these are all grants that were unanticipated and achieved through his efforts. So thanks to the chief, we have all this additional grant money and equipment.
Wow, thanks,
you.
Chief.
Thank you.
Great work.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the following budget transfers. From GL account code Apple 1325.101, part-time clerical, to GL code to Apple 1325.406, office supplies in the amount of $10,000. From GL account code Apple 3089, NYS Department of Parks, Rio Del Bel Park Playground Grant, to GL account code Charlie Mary 7110, Parks, in the amount of $343,061. From GL account code Apple 3089, Suffolk County WQRP STP upgrade grant, to GL account code Henry 9905 STP upgrade project, in the amount of $250,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Also, for the last two in this resolution, I would like to thank Maria Moore. Takes some time to get these things to be finalized, and she initiated the last two grants, one for $343,000 and another for $250,000. And we finally received the money, so that's why you see it in this aspect. So thanks to Maria.
Resolved that Andrew Durives is hereby authorized to attend the Long Island Horticulture Conference at the Brookhaven Lab on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. The cost is $85 to be paid from GL account code A5110.412, training, conventions, and publications.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the attached budget transfer policy is hereby approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the purchase of a 2023 Police Inceptor SUV in the amount of $45,827.25. New York State contract PC 6984C paid out of GL account A3120.2 equipment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby accept the resignation of Police Officer Connor Rayner effective January 30th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would like to thank Connor for his service to our community, and we wish him well in his future endeavors.
See. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the purchase of a replacement heat exchanger in the amount of $5,800 for Village Hall from Dynair Services to be paid out of GL account A1620.421 repairs to municipal building.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the Village Hall vestibule design proposal with JRH Consulting Engineers and Architects, DPC, not to exceed $7,500 to be paid out of GL account code A1440.3.4, engineering and surveys.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints the following individuals to the Pond Point Bulkhead Project Committee: Chris Mensch, trustee; Brad Hammond, building and zoning administrator; Matt Smith, superintendent of works; and Ralph Urban, mayor.
All in favor?
Aye. Whereas the Village of West Hampton Beach Village has authorized the replacement of Pond Point bulkhead, and whereas a substantial portion of the cost of Pond Point bulkhead replacement project, is being funded by a grant from New York State Department of State, and whereas the bid, a package from the project was prepared by the village consultants, First Coastal Corporation and Thacker moved to PE, and whereas the village has received 3 bids, and whereas the village has determined to award the project to the lowest responsible bidder, that is Bryant, Maine Incorporated, P.O. Box 196 Blue Point, New York 11715, for the sum of $156,540, on condition that Grant Marine Incorporated utilizes materials supplied that is certified by New York State as a MWBE for the minimum of $42,979 of the bid amount. Well, and now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees, Village of West Hampton Beach hereby accepts the bid by Grant Maine Incorporated and awards the Pond Point Bulkhead Replacement Project to Grant Maine Incorporated for the sum of $156,500 $544, sorry, on the condition that Grant Maine utilize the materials supplied that is certified by New York State MWBE for the minimum of $42,979 of the bid amount.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the Village of West Hampton Beach has awarded a bid for the Pond Point Bulkhead Replacement Project to Brant Marine, Inc., the project, and whereas the specifications for the project that were prepared by the village's consultant, First Coastal Corp., require the village to retain a firm with experience in marine construction to supervise the project during construction, and whereas the construction supervision is a professional service for which the Village Board of Trustees does not have an obligation to solicit alternative providers, whereas First Coastal Corp. Recommended Bay Environmental Consulting LLC to provide such construction supervision services for the project, and whereas the Board of Trustees has examined the proposal dated January 30th, 2025 from Bay Environmental Consulting LLC, as well as the qualifications of Bay Environmental Consulting LLC's principles, and is satisfied that Bay Environmental Consulting LLC is uniquely qualified to supervise the construction of the project. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of West Hampton Beach agrees to retain Bay Environmental Consulting LLC for construction supervision services of the Pond Point Bulkhead Project at the rates set forth in Bay Environmental Consulting LLC's proposal dated January 30th, 2025, with a budget of $16,000. And the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with Bay Environmental Consulting LLC consistent with said proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolved that the village clerk treasurer is hereby directed to publish and post a notice of public hearing to be held on Thursday, March 6th, 2025 at 5 p.m. at Village Hall to consider the ratification of a lease of village-owned property located at 172 South Country Road, Quiag, New York, identified on the Suffolk County tax map as parcel number 0900-359.00 -0.00-047.001 to CVE US NY West Hampton Beach 274 LLC and CVE North America Inc. as lessee, which lease was originally approved by the Board of Trustees by resolution adopted on February 3rd, 2023, and thereafter amended by the Board of Trustees by resolution adopted on December 7th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Advice of counsel.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the purchase of an AED from Stryker in the amount of $2,613.34 to be paid using the $2,500 donation received by the police department and the balance to be paid from GL code 83120.2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I would like to thank the donor of the $2,500 very much for his generous donation to our equipment for the police. That concludes all of our resolutions. This is the time for a public comment. If anyone wishes to speak, please come up to the podium and be heard. Ms. Levan, surprise, surprise.
I'm a little confused about just one thing. The notice of public hearing, that has to do with the lawsuit, and it's going to court June 13th, correct?
This was recommended by our council to ratify the agreement. So if I'll defer to our council to answer that.
I mean, I don't understand, since it's going to court June 13th, I don't understand the public hearing part of it, the purpose of it.
Purpose of the, actually, the purpose of the resolution is twofold. It will resolve a lot of the questions that the court is dealing with regarding, it will give the people who've been suing the village the opportunity to bring a lawsuit without the statute of limitations imposed upon them. And two, we felt, us the lawyers, and we advised the board that the village should not spend a lot of money defending the lease. And, and we want the leaseholder, if it's serious, to do the lion's share of the defense. So this is sort of our way of bringing the lease, the tenant, but you see, the tenant doesn't really have any skin in the game until it gets an approval. And the village does not want to bear the lion's share of the expense of the lawsuit, and this is meant to draw them into it.
So at the public hearing, you're expecting,
Excuse me?
at the hearing, the public hearing, you're expecting the sewers, as you, as.
The sewers. We expect them to come and complain, right?
Okay. you
And,
said-
and we don't know whether the lease is going to be ratified or not. But we will give them an opportunity to come and complain here before the board. And we will probably, though I don't think it's necessary, will resolve some of their complaints, whether the judge feels that, like, for example, the State Environmental Quality Review Act. We will deal with that, even though it's not clear that it applies because the village owns that property, not in a governmental capacity, but in a proprietary capacity. But we'll deal with that also. And we want, as I said, we want not to spend the village's money substantially to defend that lawsuit under circumstances where the tenant, if it doesn't get approval from the Southampton town, could walk away. So we don't want to invest a lot more money in the defense.
Is there any possibility that the village would just walk away from the deal to begin with?
Well, I'm not sure that the village probably can't, it's not clear that the village can walk away from it legally. I mean, they can, as a practical matter, say they won't ratify the lease, but the lease was signed, and I believe it was signed correctly, so that the tenant would have a claim against the village to enforce the lease. That being said, the tenant's got to put up its money to defend the lease. I think that the village is obligated under the lease, but the problem is that the lease does not generate income until there's an approval. And right now, the lawsuit's being brought and it's being defended by the village. And we have no idea whether that approval will be granted and the lease will be actually in effect. So as a practical matter, we want the tenant to bear the lion's share of that legal expense.
So at the public hearing, they would also come, I mean, I'm sure they're going to show up. I mean, they would be crazy not to. They would air their grievances regarding ethic violations also. lawsuit.
Well, they,
'Cause it's all over the
I,
news.
they can
They
air
were in the
whatever they
paper
want.
more than
I,
once.
they can air whatever they want, but, we've advised Brian to stay out of it and, nobody even knew that there was any ethical violation. Certainly I didn't know about it until they didn't even know that there was a potential claim for one until,
This
I
is
heard
the
about the lawsuit.
original lawsuit.
Excuse me? Yeah, it's in the lawsuit, but that was the first I heard of it. But anyway, yeah, they can say whatever they want. I mean, they can't stay here for days. But within reason, they can say whatever they want, as long as it's not brutally defamatory. Whatever that date is, yeah.
Yes.
I have a couple of other questions. Somebody left a hat here. No, it's not. Or something. This one.
There you go.
Pretty cool. Why are we putting awnings up?
That's a very good question. That's, no, for years, oh, no, for years, especially at the police entrance, back entrance, the police staff entrance.
They don't want to have
Um, no, we've had persistent leaking problem, and there have been, insects and such, and we've tried to remedy it in other manners, and the leaking problem seems to persist, so an awning is the next best thing. And the safety inspection that we had conducted by Suffolk County suggested strongly that we place awnings also over that court, the downstairs access to the court, which is in the back. Okay, place an awning over that area and over the it's just for safety. Slipping, raining, icing, and leaking over the doorways, plus that staff doorway on this side. And the warm sun expands, and to open it, you have to give it a football push to get it to open because the door expands, but the joist
So
doesn't.
the leaking-
We've tried other aspects and they have been, it's still reoccurring. So yes. No, that's already nicely done. There is an issue with the front building electric doors that sometimes get jams. Yeah, we have to address that too.
This is not a good time to be spending. And also, what is the vestibule design store?
That is another safety feature, item that was brought up by the inspector from Suffolk County. Where especially to the offices for the mayor and the clerk and the tax receiver and the offices for the building department. Those doors, people have free access to them before they have a chance to state what their business and what they're doing and where they're supposed to be going. So what we are thinking of is having a reception area, and it's similar to what they're doing in a lot of other municipalities. Some of them go, like in the town, they go to the point where they issue a sticker badge and all that kind of stuff. It's a security measure for the safety of the staff and for everyone.
Well, have we had any incidents that make you want to do this?
Yes, we have. We've had some of our staff threatened and I would say abused with telephone camera video being pushed into their face and questions being asked, and yes.
Must be irate constituents.
And I think they're mostly people that, to my knowledge, they're people that do this and go from municipality to municipality to see who they can get in trouble, basically. And so far, our staff and police department have been very well behaved and tolerant of this kind of abuse. I call it abuse.
That
It's,
is
it's, un,
abuse.
it's unnecessary. And, unnerving to the staff as well.
And when will you be rediscussing for the 5th time the beach rules this coming
Yes, we will. No, this coming
February 12th?
February 19th is our work session.
It's listed as the 12th on the website.
It's absolutely listed as the 12th.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
it is?
Yes, it is. I looked it up yesterday.
It was the 19th.
But what day
Council.
is it? That's
19th, it should be the third
So you
Wednesday.
can correct the website and I'll go home and
Well,
correct.
Oh, I canceled a trip last year because of a scheduling problem. Now you're telling me this letter that went out in January, the trip that I just canceled is wrong? That the meeting is the 19th, not the 12th?
Always the third Wednesday, whatever that is.
It went out with the outdoor dining says the 12th. The website says the 12th.
That's a clerical error. Yeah. Third Wednesday, yes.
Change it. So if we see
Correct.
the website is the 12th, we assume there's a reason.
I literally just canceled a trip. Second time.
So it is the 19th. Okay. So now
And with that in mind, the 19th, we will only have 3 trustees here. And I think the beach rule question that you mentioned deserves full board attention. So we're going to have that postponed until the March work session. Yes.
hope you have time to order stickers and publish.
Oh, we've already
all of
ordered
that.
the stickers. That's been done.
I don't. Go. Shut. It takes 4 and 5 meetings to get this done, when at the last work session, all the trustees agreed to have it be exactly like it was before last year, the year before. They all, but all of them said they agreed to that. You could have taken a vote right then and said who's in favor, and you would have had 4 to 1.
We didn't have the verbiage in place, and our attorney has been working on the verbiage for the
Verbiage is-
resolution.
It's 2 years ago.
Well, that's
Mr.
it.
Mayor.
It's incorrect in my mind, and I think in everyone's mind, to have a rule that states
Trustees
one
didn't
thing
think so at that
and
work
to
session.
enforce it differently. That's inconsistent to me. So that's what the inconsistency is, what I'm trying to fix, or what we're trying to fix.
You know
So
what? But you're trying to fix something that really wasn't broken. And my,
well,
that's my
that's
opinion.
your opinion.
Yes,
that's
was the
certainly.
opinion of 4 trustees at that work session.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
You were.
But keep it simple. That's it. Keep it simple.
Anyone else? Thank you.
We said you need 3 trustees here, so is outdoor
The
dining gonna
19th.
be? Cancel a trip over the 12th for nothing, and then the 19th is gonna
The
come, and there's only gonna be
19th,
3 of you?
we received outdoor dining applications.
I sent mine in 1st of January.
If we receive them, we review them, and I haven't seen them yet. So
I'm asking a question. There's going to be 3 of you. Are you going to be in a position to vote to take care of
conduct
that
as
meeting?
much business as we can with the quorum, yes.
But you just said you
absolutely.
wouldn't vote on the beach because there's only gonna be 3 of you.
I think that's only fair because they're the full board. That's been a contentious issue. And I think it's
Outdoor dining.
well, outdoor dining, I think we've resolved last year pretty much, and hopefully we have the system down with that. So,
We should really review what goes out and what's on the website. This is literally the
Yes.
second time. I came back
apologize.
last time from a road trip specifically to come to this meeting, which I showed up and was told at the end of the meeting, after you guys never brought it up, oh, we took it off. You have to inform applicants. I mean, cover letter
last year
says,
there
"When you
was a-
control," and it tells you to be here. It doesn't even, like in the past, just tell you it's gonna be heard. It makes a point of saying you should be there.
especially for applications and new situations, yes.
Not what
Yes.
the letter says, regardless, but it says to be there. I certainly wouldn't not be here at this point. It says it's February 12th. I double checked on the website because it seemed ridiculously close to this one. and literally just canceled a trip from February 10th to the 16th because of that.
Apologize for that, and
I just don't understand.
it should
why the
always
state
be the,
on the Wednesday and on the
it should
Can
always
we-
be the third Wednesday.
Get the review done before I mean, the review, our individual
We could
reviews of them.
easily distribute the applications, no problem.
Yeah, and then, well,
Yes.
we don't have to review them, publicly. We can take a look
Sure,
at them and then have our answers before.
Or if there's no issues on a particular application, it's the same as last year and
Right.
yes,
So
certainly.
in that case, could there be voting, with just 3 trustees if we all
Sure,
know
if
how we
If
feel?
we're confident that there's no contentious issues, certainly.
Yeah, maybe we can
Yes.
But if
get
we
that out
made-
of the way beforehand.
Yeah, but if we made the mistake and published the 12th, why don't we do a special meeting? I mean, I can do it. I mean, if that's what we put out to the public and we're making ourselves look bad, we should really review whoever does the review.
Not a bad
that,
idea.
So maybe if want to
I'd
settle
have to
everybody
look
down
at
a little
the,
bit and say,
Yeah,
I'll hold a special meeting.
I think I've already notified some other people that the 19th is.
I know,
the meeting they'll be
I'm
coming
not
in.
saying that. I'm just saying if it's
we have
published that way, then
To have 2 meetings. Are you saying 2 meetings?
well, I'll have 2 meetings.
I
mean,
don't
if
think
that's
we
worse
need
comes
to have
worse,
2
it's not a
though,
big deal.
because you guys can vote on the 19th without me and Kim as long as we have a prior.
We
consensus.
would have to make it, that's scheduled as a work session right now.
Okay.
So if we want to vote on something, then we have to notice it, which is easily done. Notice it as a meeting.
Just trying to, I understand the people's point that we publish something out there where it makes us look bad, that people did change things.
And it
made
is-
made things, so I mean, not good as one person, but we sent something out, so we really have to be more diligent in
Yes,
looking
we have
at
to
it.
be more careful.
And on the
We have to,
topic of
but
the
we have to-
applications, I mean, in my 9 years past, I know already when I'm looking at applications, if there's an issue,
Yes.
or if things look good and it's ready to, so it's really, it's not a
It's-
arduous,
Correct.
you know.
Yes, for a majority of the applications, there are no issues. you're
Right.
Will everybody be here?
There wasn't a meeting scheduled and I didn't poll the board to see if they'd be here on the 12th because I had the 19th in my mind the whole time. So
I have a fundraiser, but I'll go late if we need to meet.
Maybe we can hold a special meeting if we need to, just this one time, because we made a mistake, I'm more than happy to do 2 meetings a month, I don't care.
Yeah,
If we
but
can get a quorum for the 12th, we
Right,
can
and-
do the 12th in addition to the
You
19th.
can do it, Chris.
I'm available.
And,
Okay.
and we're talking about this because we want to be able to have public discussion, because
Or input from the applicant. I don't know
Well, but
what
I
the
would-
issues are.
I'd even like to review them first before committing to the 12th, because if we have 10 applications and I look at them and I'm like, no incidents prior, everything looks good, then what do we all need to gather for? If there's not any need for dialogue. I mean, as an applicant, I can't speak for an applicant, but if I know that the board is in favor of it, I don't have to, I wouldn't
Yes.
want to.
Well, actually, one of the things I wanted to discuss is an application for a use of village property by the Power Squad, which basically is the same thing they did last year. Are there any problems, issues? Do you need to have them come in
Yeah.
March? I was assuming the answer would be no, but I wanted to do that in a public meeting. So,
Understood.
so those, we agree.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but
Why don't we check on, I'll find out how many applications we have and I'll reach out to all of you to see how many of you are available on the 12th.
Okay.
And we can easily schedule another meeting
Yeah.
and have 12th and the 19th.
Yeah, that'd be a
That's
pretty
fine.
quick meeting.
whatever we need to do.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay, good. Anyone else? Whoops, wait, I don't know yet. I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna check how many applications we have pending. I'll check with the board's availability. I don't know. It seems like the availability is there
Right.
and now we have to assess the necessity.
5 o'clock that
And
Wednesday.
then there'll be 2
Work
agendas.
sessions.
Be an agenda for the 12th and one for the 19th.
Sounds like it. If there are 2 meetings, we'll have 2 agendas, yes.
When will we know all this?
Sometime next week. Let's see. What's now?
12th is next week, right?
Today's the 6th.
think we have to know tomorrow.
We have to know with next couple of days. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, so.
Yeah,
It's up to you guys. I mean, if you wanna do it, I'm more than happy to do it.
I could commit to it 12th at 5 o'clock if everyone wants to.
I'm not here, but there's a court.
that's fine.
If we're three of us, three of us, the mayor, we'll do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So we can have a meeting the 12th, but we aren't sure of the agenda. We'll check, I'll have to check the applications and see what's going to be on the agenda. And if they're all applications, that were repeat from last year and there are no incidents from last year, I don't see the need for people to come in, as Mr. Teeman said, and Power Squadron, I don't think they need to come in. It seemed to go well, so we'll get back to you. Okay?
And the piece about the beach will be the 19th now or the 12th?
I don't think we have, see, that's the one where I think we should have a full board. I really do. And
So that you want to move to March.
that I want to move to March no matter what.
Joan, my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is where we're at right now is really a matter of the verbiage of transferability, right?
Or assignment.
Or assignment. So we're hung right there. So to your point about kind of going to a vote, because we all want it just to be back that way, I think the mayor's point is that he would like to take a little more time to change it so that, let's just say for argument's sake, that we just remove non-transferable or make it assignable, whatever it is. That then by going back to the way we used to do it would be legal from a legal, would be more legit legally.
What the rule says and what we do will match.
So I think
Simple as that.
I think I can say with complete confidence that we are going back to the way it used to be. I think that's decided based on, your point about at least 4 of us, if not 5 of us agreeing. But in order to go back to that, we want to change some language to make it more legit. Is that fair to say?
More straightforward, yeah.
Well, nobody ever had a problem with it all those years, but now I'm getting, so what we're doing, we've already had 4 meetings on the subject. And now, a month from now, it'll take a month from now to make sure those 2 words are the way you want them, and then we're ready to go.
Most likely, yeah.
I cannot believe that this could take this much time. I honest to God, I can't.
Well, it is what it is.
Somebody up there is stubborn.
No, well, I would like it to do it the right way. If that takes time, that takes time. That's it.
Nobody's swimming yet.
That's not the point.
I know it's not the point. The bottom line is we're doing it.
Point is it should,
We're doing our deals. We are making it better. We're trying to make it better to go back to what it was. So
you guys spend money like 1, 2, 3 without blinking, and that you can make a decision on. This is something that's so simple. That's what I have to say.
Anyone else have anything to say? Okay, I need a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Okay,
I already lost that once.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we have.
Thank you, everyone.
12th and the 19th. So I just want to make sure I got this right. There's 2 meetings, 12th and the 19th.
Wednesday.
I know he's got that budget loss, but then again.
See if we even need it.
Whoever likes types that. That's who has to.
and I think maybe they got carried through.
Hoping that.
I understand that, but you know what I mean, it's basically, we're gonna take it up because it's one time, it's just the fees we do, they have to make a lot of. They have to make that.